We have new information this morning on the attacks around Atlanta that killed 8 people on Tuesday, including 6 Asian women. The suspect, 21-year-old Robert Long, is charged with murder and aggravated assault. But one police spokesman is taking criticism for his public response as investigators say they are not sure if the attacks targeted Asians. Mark Strassmann is in Cherokee County, Georgia, for us outside the spa where the rampage began. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tony. This is where it began, where 4 people were killed, 2 of them Asian women. The suspect, Robert Long, told police he's a sex addict, not a racist. But there are plenty of people who believe that this was a hate crime. Robert Long's parents recognized him in these surveillance photos posted on social media and alerted deputies who began tracking his cell phone. They forced his SUV off the highway and arrested him 150 miles south of Atlanta. But not before they say he went on a rampage at 3 different Atlanta area spas.
A white male? What is he wearing?
I don't know. Please come, okay?
8 people were murdered in roughly 1 hour, 6 of them Asian women.
This is still early, but he does claim that it was not racially motivated.
Officials said race did not appear to be behind the attacks.
He apparently has an issue, what he considers a sex addiction, and sees these locations as something that allows him to go to these places, and it's a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate.
The working theory is a sexual addiction issue rather than a racial profile.
During our interviews, we asked that specific question, and that did not appear to be the motive.
But activist and author Helen Zia said authorities are missing important context.
Hypersexualization of Asian American women is part of the racism toward Asian Americans. And to say that sexual addiction is an excuse or a reason to go on a mass killing rampage is ridiculous. He's going to take the word of a mass shooter who happens to be white against the lived experience of the Asian American community.
Zia also said Captain Jay Baker's description of the suspect's frame of mind was outrageous.
And he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
I couldn't believe that a police captain was recounting the bad day that the killer had without a shred of empathy for the really bad day that the 8 victims and their families had, the incredible grief that the whole community is going through. And this is the kind of thing that makes people question law enforcement and whether they are really there for the people that they're supposed to be protecting.
Captain Baker is also under attack for an anti-Asian Facebook post of his last year. He talked up T-shirts that said, COVID-19, imported virus from China. We reached out to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office for a comment, but we have yet to hear back. Gayle?
Thank you, Mark. That was a moment, I have to say, when I was watching that news conference and he called it a bad day, and all I could think of was 8 people are grieving tonight. It's a guy that had an issue. He blames a race of people for his problem, and then he goes and eliminates what he thinks to eliminate the temptation that he has an issue with. It's outrageous.
It's a peculiar amount of empathy for a mass shooter.
It's humanizing the shooter. Yeah. It's humanizing the shooter once again.
Yeah.
And can I point out that the shooter is a white man who is alive after they knew that he'd killed 8 people.
And he was armed.
And he was armed, and they knew that too.